to hour number 3. Thank you so much for joining us today. One of the most important stories we have ever covered or reported on has been breaking over the weekend and is now an international scandal of the highest level. Not only is this a hugely important story to every man, woman, and child on the planet, not only is it important because it will make or break the global government and could be the beginning of the end of the current globalist system, it is of the greatest import because it's fluid and developing right now. And at the beginning of a story, we info warriors, constitutionalists, patriots, libertarians, truth tellers, people of honesty have a chance to shape the debate and defeat the mainstream media spin doctors that are trying to dominate the situation. Now, here in my hand, I have a little list I drew up this morning for this moment now when I covered ClimateGate. And I want to show people watching us at prisonplanet.tv, and for radio listeners, I want to go over these points here with the document cam. This is ClimateGate. The emails are real. All the key UN data comes from this source that is fraudulent. They would not show the public their data and fought to keep it secret. This is scientific fraud and persecution of scientists that told the truth. We need a real investigation. Why all the fraud? What's the goals of the fraud? This is the equivalent of having the Death Star plans. That's only half the battle. Now we have to mount the assault on these people. Key reports are now posted at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com, your headquarters in understanding all things world government. Get the clips ready again of the new EU chief admitting this is world government, global governance, and that the carbon tax, carbon greenhouse emissions treaty of Copenhagen is the key to world government. We have Al Gore and others admitting it as well. That is coming up in this report, and we will continue with your phone calls. Number one, this is ClimateGate. If we don't let the media spin this and take control of this, if the alternative media points out what's really in the emails, points out the core truth of what's really happening here, and explains to people that the climate scam cult, and they call it a religion themselves. Al Gore in Newsweek says he is the prophet. It is an earth religion. The UN knows we like religion. This is their new Gaia worship religion. We cover that in Fall of the Republic. But here he is in Newsweek. An eco-prophet gets real. The thinking man's thinking man. Al Gore's new plan for the planet. It's not his plan. It's the globalist plan written up in the Club of Rome documents in 1991. Detailed articles with their quotes, bibliographed and sourced at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com right now. Let me do a brief synopsis, then go back over this. This is ClimateGate. This can bring them down. The emails are real. The media is trying to spin it, saying they don't know if the emails are real, which is another hoax in of itself. The university admits they were hacked last week. They admit the emails are real. They're quoted. The people that are in the emails are quoted saying, well, that's what I said in the email, but it's being misrepresented or it's being taken out of context. So they themselves blew it by coming out and saying, yeah, I wrote that, but that's not what I meant. So they admit they were hacked. They admit they wrote it. Let's get that straight. That is absolutely, completely admitted. And here's a key article out of the AP. Hacker leaked emails stoke climate debate. The headline should be, emails admit pattern of persecution by UN and top university heads against scientists that question climate data. There should be another headline about emails show clear pattern of fraud. Scientists knew Earth was getting colder, lied and said it was getting hotter. That's what the headline should say, but it's all admitted in the article. Now, the emails are real. That is absolutely essential. Number 3, I know that they are going to spin this and put out fake emails now, but we have the original WikiLeaks that are the confirmed real hacked emails. And I want to thank the hackers that did this. I salute you. You're awesome. This is true investigative journalism. Guaranteed, different groups are already doing this. We haven't confirmed it yet, but I know how they operate. I would guess it's already happened. They're going to put out fake emails to then try to muddy the water and discredit this, because everything is riding on this. World government is riding on this. This is the main taxing mechanism. We've gone from denying world government to it's now openly admitted, and the world government leaders themselves, head of the UN, Ban Ki-moon, head of the EU, all of them are admitting world government funded by the carbon tax. Also, this university was the nexus point out of England that got all the lies and propaganda straight with the other scientific bodies in the U.S., Goddard Space Center, NASA, European Union. That's all admitted. Computer hackers have broken into a server at a well-respected climate change research center in Britain and posted hundreds of private emails and documents online, stoking debate over whether some scientists have overstated the case for man-made climate change. Boy, that's a whitewash, isn't it? Oh, they've overstated. No, they're caught. The University of East Anglia in eastern England said in a statement Saturday that the hackers had entered the server and stolen data at its climate research unit, a leading global research center on climate change. Yes, it's these documents that are used. The police are investigating the theft of information. More than a decade of correspondence between leading British and U.S. scientists is included about 1,000 emails and 3,000 documents posted on the sites. They don't even tell you where to get them. It's WikiLeaks. Following the security breach last week, information shows scientists have overstated the case for global warming and alleged the documents contain proof that some researchers have attempted to manipulate data. It's quotes. Phil Jones writes to colleagues about graphs showing climate statistics over the last millennium. He alludes to a technique used by a fellow scientist to hide the decline, that's a quote, in recent global temperatures. Some evidence appears to show a halt in the rise of global temperatures from about 1960s. Jones wrote, in compiling new data, he said, just complete Mike Nature's trick of adding in the real temps to each series for the past 20 years, and from 61 for Keith, to hide the decline. Hide the decline. According to leaked email, which the author confirms was genuine. Let me say that again. Which the author confirms. The AP called him and he said, yeah, I said that. But there's all these headlines today about, are the emails real? The Washington Post won't even talk about this. They make it about how the climate cult scientists getting all this money and prestige out of their lives with the UN and the big banks and George Soros and Al Gore have celebrations and parties when scientists that have criticized them die. Or they talk about how they want to beat people up. The media is going with the tabloid angle, not how in these emails they talk about how do we set people up? How do we get them fired? How do we get with the government and block documents coming out proving we're lying? How do we block FOIA requests? How do we threaten prestigious peer-reviewed journals not to publish findings? How do we do this? How do we get the government to pull funding? This is criminal. Racketeering, conspiracy to engage in mass fraud for monetary gain. Period. But that pales in significance to the fraud itself of lying with these numbers. This is off the charts. They use the word trick by Jones has been seized on by skeptics. Trick? Who say his email offers proof of collusion between scientists who distort evidence to support their assertion that human activity is influencing climate change. Then there's the debate about, is climate change good? Well, it's normal. It goes up and down. The sun's cooled off. The entire solar system's getting cooler. Then there's the issue about how they lie in this mass hoax and tell everyone that no scientist questions man-made global warming. No one questions that this is going on. It's a conspiracy theory to say that it may be the sun or that carbon dioxide's good. There's that hoax. This is like Piltdown Man, where they took the jawbone of a pig and said it was the missing link. It took 41 years for that hoax to come out. We have to expose this hoax now, or they're going to be able to build their world government taxation system and regulatory system through this. We'll be right back.